Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Brief.
The second coronavirus wave has begun, and it's no less deadly than the first. That's the warning coming from an IDF intelligence report published overnight as infection rates soar across the country. And the Israeli Prime Minister is today hammering home the consequences after meeting with government experts.
הם הראו לי תחזיות שונות של גופים שונים, והתחזיות הללו כולן הן קשות.
The death toll sits at 305 after a chilling day of infection surges. Israel's health ministry diagnosing a 24-hour spike of some 294 cases. The Military Intelligence Directorate tracking the pandemic, saying the new outbreak has different characteristics to the first, but that if the current growth rate doesn't decrease, in a month the number of infections will be over 1,000 and could still result in hundreds of fatalities. Echoing repeated warnings from authorities that strict social hygiene guidelines must be implemented, the report says sectors of the economy will be closed down once again if localised measures aren't adopted immediately. But some medical experts are telling ILTV the report is not reliable. The Health Ministry sending a letter to hospitals around the country telling them to prepare for an immediate opening of their coronavirus ward. This as government ministries convene this morning ahead of an intense coronavirus cabinet meeting expected for this afternoon, where measures to stop the spread of the virus would be reviewed. Professor Sigal Sadetsky, Israel's head of public health, telling Army Radio the call to hospitals isn't to scare the public, but to tell the truth of the health system's limits. The Finance Ministry is calling for a boost in fines for not wearing masks and for police to target and even shut down businesses not complying with guidelines. Meantime, school is out for summer. The National Labour Court rejecting the Education Ministry's demand to extend the school year by 9 days to make up for the lost time over the lockdown. Instead, a free summer school will begin for grades 1 to 4 on July 1st. Meantime, the Palestinian Authority has placed the West Bank city of Hebron under lockdown after a record spike of some 84 cases across the West Bank territories. PA Prime Minister Mohammed Shtayyeh enforcing a strict 5-day curfew banning all social gatherings across the West Bank. Shtayyeh saying the source of most infections is the movement of people between the West Bank and Israel. A decisive meeting is expected to be held at the White House this week over whether to approve Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to begin expanding Israeli sovereignty over parts of Judea and Samaria. The Knesset vote in Israel is scheduled for July 1, and under Trump's Peace for Prosperity plan, Israel has been allocated some 30% of the territory. But since the Palestinian Authority is refusing to discuss the plan with the US as a mediator, Israel plans to move ahead with it unilaterally. Israeli media Channel 13 reporting that US Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, is set to fly home for the meeting, expected to be attended by President Trump's senior advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and National Security Advisor Richard O'Brien. Sources saying the president is also likely to attend, in which the officials will decide whether to back Israel's unilateral intentions. Meantime, Israel's ambassador to the US featured in the Washington Post Saturday. His op-ed saying Israel's annexation plan will help and not hurt prospects of peace, as it will abolish false hopes that the Palestinians will one day overthrow the Jewish state. The Israeli security establishment, for its part, expressing concern about its inability to prepare for a potential fallout. An Israeli Channel 12 television report saying security officials will finally be shown maps of the territories earmarked for annexation next week. The body of missing IDF soldier Ariel Benjamin Fischler has been found. A terror link has been ruled out, but the circumstances of the IDF sergeant's death are not immediately clear. Sergeant Fischler was reported missing Friday in southern Israel, his fellow soldiers launching a nationwide search party, locating his body on Saturday evening.
That's all for now, but for more news from Israel, remember to like ILTV on Facebook and on Instagram, and to subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.